Happy Halloween and welcome to Backyard Cigars. I've got two cigars here. Both of these cigars are pretty much identical. These are Viaje's Full Moon. And Viaje's been releasing Full Moon cigars since 2013. I think there have been a few years that he hasn't released them, 2020 being one of them. These are 2021 editions, and you've got your regular Full Moon, and then you've got a Full Moon Reserva Limitada, and or is it Reserva? Edición Limitada. And Edición Limitada is the only difference between the Edición and the regular one is the wrapper. The wrapper on the Edición Limitada is a Mexican San Andres. Everything else mirrors the original, which is a Nicaraguan Puro. Corojo 99 wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan fillers. 5x58 is the Vitola size. So you might call that, I guess, a Robusto Gordo. And that would probably fit the bill. Now, I'm going to smoke the Full Moon 2021 edition and save this one for another year. They've been in the humidor now a little under a year, so they've been resting a little bit at 65, 66 RH, and we're gonna find out what this one offers. While I'm waiting for the cigar to develop, I just want to share a quick story. I got a chance to visit the Eastern State Penitentiary. And for those of you who don't know, it used to be a prison, housed a lot of violent, mentally deranged individuals. I forget when it opened, but it's a historic landmark now. But it did close in 1971. Al Capone was once held there. Various celebrity, criminals were there at a time, and it was shut down because of a lot of a lot of different reasons, and there are a lot of stories of torture and abuse that occurred at the jail, and a lot of strange going-ons at the jail as well. And so from 71 till I don't know how many years, maybe 20, 30 years, it was abandoned in disrepair, and then finally an investment group came in, or a company came in, and they transformed it into something that would be useful to the community in terms of educating and informing the people about the history and so forth, giving tours of the jail during the daytime when it doesn't seem as spooky, and then of course using it as a haunted house. And there are particular cells that are supposed to be more haunted than the others. 12, 6, and 4, I believe, were the three that were supposed to be really haunted. So I got a chance to go, and I did end up seeing cell 12, I believe it was, that I got to see. And yeah, very spooky, very creepy. The haunted houses weren't that scary, but the place itself was pretty creepy and spooky, and of course they heighten that with certain attractions and so forth. But if you just look into certain cells and certain corridors, you really do get a sense of just how creepy it could be if there was no one around, and if there was a lot less lighting. It would probably be a different feeling, right? So we got to one part where it was the cell block that housed Al Capone's cell while he stayed there for a little under a year. And I'm walking around, and I start seeing like these things darting back and forth across the corridor, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's just my vision, maybe the lighting here is playing tricks on me, or maybe I'm just seeing things. And mind you, alcohol free, drug free. There was nothing going on that would impair my I wouldn't say there was nothing that could impair my vision, but there was no substance that was impairing my vision, and I felt like I was seeing something, and I said to myself, I'm not exactly sure what I'm seeing, but I know that I'm seeing something. And I kind of kept it to myself because I wasn't really sure about what I was seeing, but I guess what I was seeing was flickers of as if someone was doing this and darting across back and forth from the cells, and it was a little creepy. But I'm used to seeing things like that, so I didn't, you know, get all crazy about it. But I did kind of think to myself, yeah, there's something going on here, possibly. But what's going on with the cigar, Jose? What is going on with the cigar? Viaje Full Moon is a cigar that a lot of people want to get their hands on because of the seasonal release, a little bit of the hype behind it, the limited release that it is, and Viaje cigars are already hard to get, so they just kind of play along with that and make this a little bit more selective, you know, I mean, or harder to get. But I think that if you do get a hold of it and you manage to score a few, you'll find that it is a good cigar. And I've smoked it before, so this isn't my first time. I can honestly say that while you will find that it's a good cigar, I don't think you're gonna be wowed by it. I think what you get initially from this, you get some pepper, you get a little bit of earthy tobacco, pepper. That's all I got right now. It's spicy. It's spicy right now. It's spicy in not in a bad way. I don't think it's a pepper bomb necessarily. It's very early in the stick to go classifying it as such. And even for me in my past experiences with it, I didn't feel that it was a pepper bomb, but it was initially very spicy, and it did retain a lot of spice from start to finish. So there's that, and then there's also a little bit of leather in the finish as well. I think if you can get it, and you get it on the eastern coast, it's somewhere. I think it's about 11 and change, a little close to $12 on the eastern coast, of course, and it's got a very big aroma. It's got a long lasting finish. It's got a finish that really travels, and that pepper and that finish is nice. I can say it's nice. There's a slight sheen to the Gorojo wrapper with a little bit of oil on it, just a little bit, not a lot. It's mostly matte finish, but simplistic band with the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, a sadistic looking one at that. Good construction, because it really does have good construction. Every single one I've smoked has had very good construction, and I've never had issues with the burn line or the draw, which are big pluses. In terms of the transitions of the cigar, they don't really kick off the way that, at least the way that I expected them to, and they're very slow. Like this first inch right now is just pepper, some earthiness, maybe a little leather in the finish. And as we get to this second half, then we'll talk more. This is a good cigar. And just like that, it's just not, for me, anything super special in any way. Will it age well? Probably it'll age pretty well, given the profile and so forth, the tobaccos used. Uh, if you like a lot of pepper, like I said, not necessarily a pepper bomb, but you may enjoy this a little bit more than the rest of us. And I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it, but I do feel that there's just more pepper in the finish and up front and in the transitions. It's just the varying degrees of the pepper that you get more than anything else. Earthy tobacco, you get as well, like I mentioned, a little bit of leather. But overall, I don't think this is a cigar you need to chase. If you're curious and you're like me or like most of us, that we like those seasonal releases. We like to see what cigar companies are offering for seasonal releases. Then sure, go ahead, try and get one. And if you score one, enjoy it as you should, or buy two, and make the most of it. But don't go crazy chasing this one. I just don't think it's worthy of chasing. There's this general blend, or general, I guess, company blend that you get from Viaje in this cigar, where it kind of tastes a lot like a lot of their other lines, or some of their other cigars. I don't want to say all they've got so many, right? I feel like it's good quality, definitely. And I don't think it's, like I said, it's not a bad cigar. But I think that if you're looking around and you're chasing seasonal cigars and you're chasing seasonal releases, there are better options. The draw on this is very, very good. As I mentioned before, the construction on this is very, very good. The overall cigar experience is good. And, it's not going to be something that you sit back and feel like you wasted your money on. I don't think that's the case here. But I think that there is sometimes a little bit of hype involved with these releases, and for good reason. It's a business. They want you to chase these cigars. They want to push these seasonal small releases out and get people excited about them year after year. So with all of that, one just has to realize that sometimes certain cigars are worth chasing, and sometimes they're not, and that's fine. Not there are other individuals out there that will say, I've had that cigar, this particular cigar, and I loved it, and I thought it was incredible, and I would chase it year after year and get as many as I can. And if that's the case for you, then that's good. That is good for you. There is nothing negative about that whatsoever. But for me, having smoked a lot of Viaje cigars for many years and enjoying quite a few of them, many of them, I can just say that there is this customary general blend feel to this cigar, and it's not wowing me for that reason, but it's still overall a decent experience. I mean, you like I said, besides the good draw, the construction, and the good delivery of pepper, you've got a good ring gauge on this cigar, 58 ring gauge. It gives you a good long-lasting smoking experience. You get a lot of tobacco for your money, and it strength-wise, you can feel that it is a full-bodied cigar, but you can also feel that it is restrained. It isn't full blast, full strength, wild. It is restrained, and for that I'm grateful. There is one other note that I got from this cigar that I almost forgot to mention, and that's there is a little saltiness to it. There's a little saltiness to it. It's a very mild salt. It's not a very it's not super salty, not like peanut salty, but it's a low sodium salt, if you want to call it that, and that adds another little layer to it. And I think that picks up in the second third, and even in the final third, you get a little bit more of that salt. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your night to watch this video. And for everyone that leaves a comment, thank you very much. I read all the comments. I appreciate them all. And I appreciate the support for the channel. And if there's anything that you see or want to ask me, feel free. I'm always open to suggestions and questions. And I want to thank you all once again, ladies and gentlemen. Have a happy and safe Halloween.